some questions, but brother, tell me what's going on with this whole flat Earth theory. Do you believe it? Don't you believe it? What's going on with that, young Pharaoh?
Okay, brother. Now, just sticking down to keeping it simple before I go in on the whole situation in detail. When we understand who the Caucasian is, we understand the tactics that he uses repeatedly. Now, every time it's a national crisis or one of these police kill us in the street, he likes to throw distractions out there. It's funny how this flat Earth theory just want to come out of nowhere since they didn't kill Sandra Bland, since they didn't kill Michael Brown, and millions of other people I can name. So I just want to let people know, stop getting caught up on the distraction or the hand that's over the table, and stop forgetting that it's a hand under the table. Now, with that being said, going on the flat Earth theory, the flat Earth theory to me is garbage. It's just like the evolution theory. You see, the Caucasian gives us theories because he don't come with facts. We know that nobody evolved from no monkey, but the Caucasian teaches the evolution theory in order to disaccord you with not only his true historical origins, but with your own. So when he comes with this flat Earth theory, not only am I getting ready to dispel this, I just want people to use their own minds and say, why would the Caucasian come with the flat Earth theory? Because he wants to further put you out of tune with the planet, because we as melanated beings are directly in tune with the planet. So not only does he hide your history with the evolution theory and throw you out of tune with that, now he's throwing you out of tune with the cosmos by making you think you live on a giant flat planet. So it's like, black people, when will we stop? Just, if the Caucasians say it, we should just throw it in the, I don't even think we should read the book. If he send us something in the mail and he's the sender, throw it in the garbage. We don't even want to read it because it can't be nothing in our favor. It won't ever be nothing in our favor. So for anybody who has fell victim to the flat Earth theory, just please, just come back. Our ancestors never taught that. If you want to know the truth, just go to any time in history before the Caucasian had any influence on African civilization and study their teachings. Our ancestors don't teach that we live on no flat surface. Now, getting into the flat Earth theory. If we understand simple geometrics, we understand that we live in a three-dimensional reality. That's why they call us we live in the third dimension. In order for you to exist as a human, you have to your body physically condenses and vibrates at a third-dimensional frequency. Now, what does this mean? The planet is physical, which means it's three-dimensional. I'm breaking down the geometric composition of the planet Earth. The Earth is 3D, which is undeniable. So when we say the flat Earth theory, before I go into the other dimensions and how this is significant to the Earth as well as gravity, just further debunking the foolishness of the flat Earth theory. It's impossible for the Earth to be flat. So even if we correct the word and people try to say, oh, it's not flat, we just saying it's oval shape, that's still more towards a spherical. It will be like an egg if that's the case. It will still be round. So we know that an egg is not a perfect sphere, but it's like an oval type of sphere. But that's not flat. It's impossible for the Earth to be flat. That's like saying you live on a line. That's crazy. We will all fall off. Water will run off. If you throw a football, it would fall below the horizon and hit another planet. That's crazy for you to think we live on a flat Earth. And once again, for people who keep saying, it's not flat, what are you saying? It's a cylinder? Either way you go, you're saying it's three-dimensional, and it's impossible for the Earth to be a cylinder. So at the most, it will be egg-shaped, which is more still favoring towards what I'm saying, and what the ancestors are saying, is that we live on a giant sphere. Now, going into the Earth theory, the flat Earth theory, we have to understand how the planet was created. Now, we understand that light ionizes and charges atoms. Atoms exchange electrons and create chemical elements. These elements explode out of suns, get pushed for millions and billions of light years, and using light years to calculate the distance in which these elements travel, they get caught up in the gravitational pull of other suns and other celestial bodies, such as solar systems, containing 1, 2, 3, however many suns, and they begin to orbit as well as rotate within the gravitational pull of whatever sun is caught up. And in this rotation or gravitation, these elements begin to mix the same way fruits mix into smoothies into a blender, these elements mix. So now you have iron, copper, sulfur, carbon, which just exploded from a star, traveled billions of light years, caught up by another star, and now it's beginning to blend. And when you blend iron, copper, sulfur, carbon, oxygen, etc., hydrogen, helium, they start to create planets. Now we're going to focus on our specific planet. A planet is created in a swirl, just the same way a smoothie is created in a swirl. And if a smoothie wasn't a liquid and it was a solid, it would be a sphere. Just like when you take Play-Doh, when you see anybody who's a potter and you see somebody doing pottery, when they put the clay on the machine and they cut the machine on and the machine begins to rotate and they put their arm in it, the clay comes out in a cylinder shape. Now, if their arm wasn't so long, it would be spherical. So anything that rotates and is getting molded in a circular motion comes out spherical. It would be impossible for us to live on a planet that's flat when the whole dynamic, which is geared towards its creations and the mechanics that it was engineered using by the universe, would only denote that it's spherical. These elements were swirled into creation. We swirl right now. That's how we have 12 hours a day and 12 hours a night. So it's impossible for you to create a flat object from a swirl. A flat object is one-dimensional and it only can be a straight line. So the flat earth theory, whether you want to play with the terminology or you want to take a literal, both of those are out. It can't be literally flat because of common sense. And for two, if you want to say the word and be technological, then switch it and say the oval earth theory. But either way it goes, that still denotes that the earth is three-dimensional and more leaning towards a sphere. So the flat earth theory is just something kicked out to the public by the Caucasian to further cause chaos and confusion. These crackers thought the earth was flat, and our ancestors, who you might want to deem the Moors, which I don't like to give titles to any black person, I just like to say melanated entity, but now we're going to say the Moors. We understand that the Moors helped them Caucasians circumnavigate the planet, and the Caucasian didn't ever leave Europe until 1492 with Christopher Columbus. That's why they called this new land the New World, because it was actually them experiencing a new part of the world. They had never left Europe because they thought it was flat. So it wasn't until an African entity came and taught them, no, the world is not flat, and you can travel around it. So our ancestors have already debunked the flat earth theory in the past directly with the Caucasian. Now he's trying to bring it back up and feed it to us again, and now I have to come debunk this theory again. So black people have to learn to stop even entertaining the things that these Caucasians put out. That's retarded for you to think you live on a... I want to see somebody walk on a sheet of paper. And like I said, if people who like to say, well, we don't mean literally flat, well, what do you mean? Because it's only two shapes that the earth can be. Well, three. A perfect sphere, a oval, such as like an egg, a three-dimensional oval, like an egg, or a cylinder, a three-dimensional cylinder, like a can of pop, because it was made in a swirling motion. We know it's not a cylinder like a can of pop, so it's only going to be an egg shape or a spherical shape. Either way it goes, it's still borderline spherical. It's more leaning towards the sphere. It's three-dimensional. The earth is not flat. So people are not using their natural mathematical abilities that they have to just add 1 + 1 is 2. If the earth was made like this, it's impossible for it to be flat. I don't understand. See, what it is our people, it's still in their genes. Slavery is still in a lot of our genes. And a lot of people still take anything the white man say on face value. So, like, you still got people who think wrestling is real. So, they go with the old white man said the earth is flat, and you just going to take that on the hop because he has blinded you with his false degrees and PhDs and master's degrees, which mean nothing, which is just nothing more than pieces of paper that he wrote on and signed and put your name on and you feel important. So, our people need to stop just taking what he say on the hop and start using our own intelligence. When you be able to think for yourself, nobody can fool you. I'm scared for the minds of the people that they even allow the flat earth theory to still be relevant. Like you said, that was last year. It's 2016 now, according to the Gregorian calendar, and we're still debating the flat earth theory when common sense tells you that that is impossible, not even just irrelevant, it's impossible if you understand the laws of physics and how the planet was manifested. So the flat earth theory is nothing more than a distraction to keep us from what's really going on, which is them killing us out here like they've been doing. See, every time black people get fed up and we get turned up and we get ready to really get in their ass, they come with something. They come with some foolishness. Next is going to be something else crazy. It's going to be something else ridiculous, Brother Rich. It's just crazy now. People don't use their own minds to find their own way. They latch on to the mental creations of other people, the worst type of people, the Caucasian, and use that in their daily life to navigate, and that's horrible.
Is there any aspect of this movement that you might agree with? Like they may say, like how they talk about the founding of NASA, or they may say gravity doesn't exist, or they may say the Earth is the center of the universe, opposed to the sun being the center. Is there any aspect of what they're talking about that you see that you could say, oh, I dig that, I could get with that?
Okay, before I answer the gravity, I want to make sure I heard the second part of your question. You said that them saying the sun is the center of the universe?
No, I believe they're saying that the Earth is the center of the universe, not the sun. We're told that the sun is, but they're saying the Earth is the center.
Okay.
That, all right. And, you know,
now I'm going to deal with that second.
All right.
Okay, brother Rich. Gravity, first of all, does exist. You use it, you experience it every day. So we know Jesus don't exist because we ain't never seen him. He ain't never said nothing. So if you can't physically or spiritually experience something, it cannot exist. Because a lot of people like to say, well, you can't see your thoughts, but you can physically experience them and manifest them. And actually, they have machines now that can actually calculate the speed and the weight and the mass of a thought. So we know thoughts exist, even though they're not technically physical, they're mental. But when we want to stay on point, we know Santa Claus don't exist because you can't experience him. But when it comes to gravity, you can throw something in the air right now, it's going to come down. And people say gravity doesn't exist, but they don't understand where gravity exists or how it's created. Gravity is created from speed. The Earth rotates at approximately 1,037 miles per hour. And it is at this rotational speed that gravity is created. For people to have a reference, you ever get on a ride at a amusement park, and the faster the ride gets to going around, the more stuck to the seat you become? Speed and velocity in a 360-degree manner creates gravity. So the Earth is spinning so fast that you are basically glued to this big planet. So when people say gravity doesn't exist, how doesn't it? Gravity is created. Now, if there was no motion, there would be no gravity. Just like if you go out of space and you get out your spaceship, you'll float because there's no motion. You're not inside of a giant rotation. So with that being said, there's no gravity outside of anything that is not moving at a high enough velocity. But since you are in planet Earth, gravity does exist to you. As long as you are inside of this giant celestial body, you will experience gravity because this planet is creating it due to its speed, due to the 1,037 miles that it is rotating on its axis. So people say gravity don't exist. Gravity won't exist if there is not a physical body moving at a high speed in 360 degrees. But if there is, then that body will create gravity. So people don't understand, once again, the laws of physics and the source of how gravity is created. So to keep this simple, unless you're on a planet, gravity don't exist to you. But if you are on a planet, gravity will exist to you. But to say gravity does not exist at all would be ignorant because you experience it right now. The same person that said gravity that doesn't exist, go get them and tell them jump off a building. I bet you they're going to say no. Why? Because they know gravity going to snatch their ass to the ground. They're going to be flat as a pancake, brains everywhere. So they don't even believe that statement. Because if they did, they would jump off a building and see if they float. So once again, people keep making ignorant statements, and I'm pretty sure whoever said that probably got that idea somewhere from a teaching from a Caucasian. Now, when we want to get on the Earth being the center of the universe, I would have to say that that is incorrect because numbers don't lie. Mathematics don't lie. One is the starting point of everything and is the foundation of everything and is the center of everything. We live in the 18th galaxy. If you study astrology and you know how to count the galaxies, you'll know that our solar system is the 18th galaxy. See, astronomers treat the galaxies like neighborhoods, and they count them in order, and this order is created in calculation due to their creation. So we can calculate how our Earth is due to its most deepest soil and rocks that we find, and then we can compare them to the soil on other planets, and we can calculate which planet was here first, and then we number those planets by that data. So let's say if you live in a whole other star system and your rock is, let's say, 5 years old, mine is 4 years old, then we know your rock was a year here before mine, so your galaxy will be numbered first before mine. So now using this calculation, we have come to find that Earth is the 18th solar system in creation. So our solar system is the 18th solar system in creation. So with that being said, how can we be the center of the galaxy if we're 18 solar systems away from the first solar system that was ever created? So people don't do they don't take things through the actual process. You know what I'm trying to say? They don't take things through the actual, it's like when your teacher say check your work. They're not checking their work, they just circling answers. When it's like, when you just check your work, common sense will tell you that's not right. When people say the Earth is the center of the center of the galaxy, how? When we are the 18th galaxy out of this hemisphere of the universe. So we're not the center. Like we are the 18th solar system in creation. So our planet can't be the center. Let alone we have 9 planets. So they want to say, okay, we're just talking based on our specific solar system, excluding all other solar systems. Earth is the 3rd planet. We have 6 other planets. So when we want to talk about the center of something, and if you're not including the sun, because if you're including the sun, then we have 10 celestial bodies. So if we have 10 celestial bodies, we would have to go to the 4th planet from the sun, which would be, let me make sure I want to say Saturn, which would be Saturn, the 5th planet from the sun, and that would be the center of our solar system because it will be in the middle. So when we want to find the center of something, we still have to go to its radius. So whether we're talking on a universal scale of our galaxy being the center of the universe, or whether people just saying, oh no, we talk about our solar system, is going to be either Jupiter or Saturn, which is the center of our specific galaxy that we live in. It won't be Earth because Earth is not close enough to the center of this solar system. So like I said, it's either going to be Jupiter or Saturn. Even if we were just sticking within our immediate solar system, it won't be Earth because Earth is not close enough to the center of this solar system. So once again, people don't do the actual calculations. They don't do nothing through they don't take nothing through mathematical process. They just come up with ideas, and whether they feel these ideas are right or wrong, whether these ideas are being passed down by Caucasians such as the flat Earth theory, they are not at home themselves taking these ideas through the ringer. And that's why we keep coming up with so many distractions and distortions within the black community, because we arguing over stuff that can be easily assessed, but we just not doing the assessment.